Hi everyone. In the previous video, we installed VMware Workstation on Windows 11. We're going to take the next step and create our first virtual machine. I'll show you how to download the official Windows 11 ISO directly from Microsoft, create a new virtual machine in VMware Workstation, configure the virtual hardware, and install Windows 11 step by step. So let's get started. Step 1. Download. Windows 11 ISO, open Microsoft's official Windows 11 download page, scroll to download. Windows 11 Disk Image, ISO, select the Windows 11 Multi-Edition ISO, select Language, confirm, download the 64-bit ISO. I will give the link in the description. Now let's create our Windows 11 virtual machine. Open VMware Workstation and click Create a new virtual machine. Here we'll select Custom, because this gives us more control over the virtual machine's hardware and configuration. On the hardware compatibility screen, we can select the VMware hardware version. For this tutorial, I'll keep the recommended version selected. This determines which VMware features and virtual hardware are available to the virtual machine. Now VMware asks how we want to install the operating system. Instead of selecting the Windows 11 ISO at this stage, I'm going to choose I will install the operating system later. This allows us to create and configure the virtual machine first, and then attach the Windows 11 ISO manually from the virtual machine settings. Now VMware asks us to select the guest operating system. I'll select Microsoft Windows and choose the appropriate Windows version. This tells VMware which operating system we're planning to install so it can apply the appropriate default settings. Next, I'll give the virtual machine a name. I'll use Windows 11 so it's easy to identify later. Here we can choose where the virtual machine will be stored. I'll select a drive with enough free space. Remember that the virtual machine and its virtual disk can take up a significant amount of storage. Next, VMware asks us to set an encryption password for the virtual machine. This password is used to protect the encrypted virtual machine configuration and certain virtual machine data. I'll enter a strong password and continue. Make sure you remember this password because losing it can prevent you from accessing the encrypted virtual machine. Next, we can select the firmware type. For Windows 11, we'll use UEFI, which is the modern firmware standard used by current Windows systems. Now we can configure the virtual processor. I'll assign 2 processor cores to this virtual machine. The amount you should assign depends on your physical computer. Make sure you leave enough CPU resources available for your host operating system. Next is the memory configuration. I'll allocate 8 GB of RAM to this Windows 11 virtual machine. If your computer has less memory, you can use a smaller amount, but make sure the host computer still has enough RAM to operate normally. For the network connection, I'm selecting bridged networking. Bridge mode allows the virtual machine to connect directly to the physical network through the host computer's network adapter. This means the virtual machine will appear as a separate device on the same network as the host, and will normally receive its own IP address from the network's DHCP server. I'm choosing bridged because I want this Windows 11 virtual machine to communicate directly with other devices on my network. VMware now asks us to select the I/O controller. I'll keep the recommended option and continue. Next, VMware asks us to select the virtual disk type. I'll keep the recommended option, which is NVMe in my case, and click Next. Next, we need to create a virtual hard disk. I'll select Create a new virtual disk. Next, we need to specify the disk capacity for our virtual machine. I'll allocate 80 GB of disk space for Windows 11. VMware has selected Split Virtual Disk into multiple files by default, so I'll keep the recommended option and continue. Here we can specify where the virtual disk file will be stored. I'll keep the default location inside the virtual machine folder. Now VMware shows us a summary of our virtual machine. We can review the processor, memory, network adapter, and virtual disk settings. Everything looks good, so I'll click Finish. Our virtual machine has now been created. Before powering it on, we need to attach our Windows 11 ISO file. I'll select the virtual machine and click Edit Virtual Machine Settings. From the hardware list, I'll select CD/DVD. I'll choose Use ISO image file and browse to the Windows 11 ISO that we downloaded from Microsoft's official website. I'll select the ISO file and click OK. Now the Windows 11 installation media is connected to our virtual machine. Everything is now ready. Our Windows 11 ISO is attached, the virtual hardware is configured, and the required security settings are enabled. Let's power on the virtual machine and start the Windows 11 installation. When the virtual machine starts, you'll see the message, "Press any key to boot from CD or DVD." I'll press any key to boot from the Windows 11 ISO file. Windows setup will now start. From here, we'll continue with the normal Windows 11 installation process. Select the language, keyboard layout, and other required options, then continue with the installation. I'll skip these basic installation steps and let the installation complete. After Windows finishes and you're at the desktop, Windows 11 is now installed successfully inside VMware Workstation. The next important step is to install VMware Tools. VMware Tools improves the interaction between the host computer and the virtual machine. It enables features such as better mouse integration, automatic screen resizing, copy and paste, and improved overall VM performance. To install it, go to VMarrow Install VMware Tools. Follow the installation wizard, complete the installation, and restart the virtual machine if required. Now we can resize the VMware window, and the Windows 11 display automatically adjusts to the window size. We can also copy and paste between the host and the virtual machine, and that's it. We now have a fully working Windows 11 virtual machine running inside VMware Workstation. And that's it. Windows 11 is now successfully running inside VMware Workstation. In this video, we downloaded the official Windows 11 ISO, created and configured our virtual machine, completed the Windows 11 installation, and installed VMware Tools. You can now use this virtual machine for testing, learning, and building your own IT lab. In the next video, we'll install Windows Server 2025 in VMware Workstation and continue building our lab environment. If you found, subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more practical IT tutorials. Thanks for watching SR Tech Lab, and I'll see you in the next video.